This is the Global Podcast Network, where executives and professionals connect, share, and inspire. Stay tuned for the conversations that drive success.
We made it. Holiday season upon us. With that comes joy, celebration, fun, gatherings, all of that. Also, stress, emotions run high, challenges, so much going on there. Today, we're going to go back to basics and talk about some of the things you can do to reduce some of that stress, that emotional toll on your body. And that is courtesy of a gentleman who formed an organization dedicated to helping all of us and those of us in business achieve extraordinary success by being intentional. And that's such a powerful word. The name of the program is Intentional Achievements. And he is Joe Price, back on the program. Hey, Joe, how you doing today?
Steve, I'm doing great. Thanks for having us back on.
Yeah, great to have you here. And this is certainly something that's on the radar of a lot of us. The holidays can be a challenging time for many. And when we say back to basics, what are we talking about here? What are the basics to get us essentially back on track? Just taking a deep breath, tapping the brakes a little bit as we head into the holidays.
Yeah, absolutely. In our intentional success system, we have what we call the 4 foundations. And those foundations really help us create the firm ground that we stand on in order to create a more intentional life. And those 4 foundations are our reaction, response, intentional action model, our change formula and how we institute change in our life, our cycle of mastery, which is if we take our change formula and make short-term change, that always doesn't become permanent and doesn't become a habit. So how do we create good habits for ourselves? And then our comfort zone. And we have a tendency to like to stay where things are comfortable, but sometimes comfort actually means hiding. And we don't want to hide anywhere where we are not making progress. The other foundation or fundamental principle here is to understand our purpose and how we make decisions using our purpose. So a lot of people at this time of year are figuring out what happened last year, what did I do well, what didn't I do well, what's coming up next year, but they forget to ask the fundamental question of why am I here and what do I really want to accomplish? And then how am I going to go about accomplishing it?
What's interesting is I've heard that said before. What's your why? Why am I here? What's my purpose? But right away, I always look at that in terms of business. Why are you doing what you're doing? You spend a lot of time during your day on your career, job, whatever. Right. I never looked at it in terms of, all right, we got a holiday coming up. We have, things that need to get done, decorating, people coming over, cooking, wrapping presents, buying presents, on and on and on and on. The things that we're talking about can also apply to all of that.
It really does. I mean, if you think about the 9 areas of our life that we have to create harmony and balance in, we've got our primary relationship. We have our family. We have our careers. We have our finance. We have our personal health. We have our emotional health. We have a community life. We have a spiritual life. How many of us really think about the questions of what am I doing in each area of my life? And what's the purpose of me doing it? Right? I mean, I'd tell you a funny story about a mentor of mine who said that the majority of people who get married today get married because they're running away from something in their life and they find each other who somebody else who is also running away from something else in their life. And the two people have a tendency not to think about it, but they really get together in this reactionary lifestyle of running from something else instead of asking the question, why do I want to get married and why do I want to marry you? And what's the purpose of our life together? And how are we going to help each other grow and become our best selves? How many people actually think about that?
$50 tip coming from Joe right there. Save you more money on the back end. Yes, it's
Right?
true. And it's my belief after a journey, which continues, everybody should go through the 5 love languages with their partner at the very beginning of the relationship. What does it
Correct.
for you? Number one. Number two, therapy. Therapy, because a lot of what you're running from most likely came from your childhood and traumas that are in your subconscious, maybe issues with your parents. Even if your relationship was fantastic, there's still things there that
Right.
pilot you in a certain way as an adult, and then you look at relationships through that lens, et cetera, et cetera. But spot on with asking that question. Why am I getting married to you? Yeah,
Right.
all right, I love you. Why do I love you? There might be a reason that you might have be. Well, because you make me feel safe and comfortable. Okay, yes. Why? Just keep going. Why?
Right. Yeah, absolutely true. And what we don't think about is that the majority of the time, and talking about going back to basics,
Hmm.
we're reacting to things that happened in our life and then projecting that reaction onto other people.
Yeah.
Now, we've talked about before that reactions are out of control actions based on things that happen to us, right? And so, how many of us really stop to think, am I being intentional about this relationship? Or am I reacting in this relationship based on something else that's happened to me, or maybe something that you said or did that I'm reacting to, or somebody else said or did that I'm reacting to? And all of a sudden, I've created a whole life around that reaction, and my entire life is out of control.
For example, let's say your parents split up when you were much younger. And let's say you didn't get the attention that you really needed as a kid. Your parents loved you, but maybe you needed more attention and they didn't realize that. Maybe you have a fear of abandonment, fear of being alone. Now you're with somebody.
Right?
I've got somebody. I'm never going to be alone. This is going to be great. This is with now. Once you start asking the whys, and we're going hypothetical here, but maybe that would reveal why you're with them. Maybe
Yeah.
it's not just about love. There's another thing that's filling a need within you in that relationship.
Right. And it really is not hypothetical, given the fact that 53% of people in our country remarry, get divorced and remarry, right? When we're looking for our new partner, what are we looking for and why are we looking for that? Are we looking for someone who's the opposite of the person we just left?
Mm.
Or are we looking for somebody who's really fulfilling my life and somebody that I want to help fulfill their life and create an intentional framework around our relationship instead of one that's built on a reaction based on somebody else?
And just to go a layer deeper, the um, Jerry Maguire, the movie, and there's a scene in the movie where they repeat these words: "You complete me." The worst words ever said.
Right?
Regarding what you're saying, what do you add to the relationship? On both sides, they add to that relationship. You should be good on your own. You shouldn't need somebody else to complete you. I'm just saying.
Right, right. So when we think about all of these things, are we being intentional about our thought process? And as we're ending the year and beginning a new year, what do we start thinking about?
Mm.
We start thinking about what am I going to do differently next year? Right? There's always the joke about January, the parking lot of of the fitness center is always full.
Yep.
And in April, there's 1 or 2 cars left,
Hmm.
right?
But they're still hitting your credit card.
Exactly right.
That's the business model.
Yeah. So we're reacting to a specific need that we have in our life instead of being intentional about what we're going to do about it and the why we're doing it.
Hmm. So I'm seeing this intentional achievements in a whole different lens because I really equated it with business, moving your business forward,
Right.
moving your career forward. This applies to anything in your life that you want to improve.
Everything that is part of the systems and processes that we have and the philosophies that we've developed are all based on universal principles that are applied everywhere.
And just based on 35 plus years of your experience in coaching and moving lives forward for thousands of people.
Right?
The word intentional is the best word ever. You need to be intentional about everything you do, right down to asking questions. Why am I marrying this person? Why do I do what I do? All of those need to be answered. Um,
Yep.
what other things can you tell us about getting back to basics when it comes to reducing stress for the holidays or, the emotional toll that comes up there?
Let me share those 5 things with you again. You can see them
Sure.
on the screen. So let's ask some basic questions. What do I want to change about my life? And how am I going to make those changes? Right? And are those changes a reaction to something that I don't like about what's happening? Or have I thought about where do I want to be in the future? And what do I have to do in order to make the changes to get me there?
Hmm.
One is a concept of us running from something, and the other is a concept of running to something. And when I'm running from something, I'm reacting based on fear, and whatever I change in my life is going to be short term, and it's really not going to help me accomplish what I want to accomplish. So the first thing and the basic principle of intentionality really is thinking about what outcome do I want? Who do I want to be next year? Where do I want to be next year in my marriage, in my family, in my business, with my finances, with my personal health? Let's think in terms of not just I want to lose 15 pounds, which is running away from my weight, but where do I want to be and who do I want to be and why? The difference between those two ways of thinking is the difference between getting motivated and getting inspired.
Let's go there because it's very easy for all of us to understand. You want to lose 20 pounds. That's the language that we use. Yeah.
Right.
Listen, I say it every day at the gym with my friend. We meet at 6 a.m. I can even show you the text. We were joking around about each other,
Yeah.
about that, dad bods and all of that. And actually, there was something else because it's in real time. Men with beer bellies may face serious heart damage. That was a story that came out. So I sent that to him, just like,
Okay.
and I mean, kind of, he's like, thanks for the good news, sunshine. Yeah. All of us, a lot of us are looking at losing weight. So let's say
Right.
your goal is to reduce your weight by 20 pounds. That's the goal. And we all use that same language. I got to lose 20 pounds.
Right.
But what I'm getting from you, Joe, here is we should reframe it instead of, and when I think about that language, just a moment here,
Yeah.
lose, it's a negative.
Correct.
Even though it's a positive, you're doing better for your health. You're
Yes.
starting out with a negative word, lose.
Right. And we've talked about the importance of language before, right?
That's where I'm going with that.
And the
Yeah.
connotation that comes with it. So it's not the concept of I want to lose 20 pounds. The question is why? Do I want to lose the 20 pounds because I want to look better in the mirror? Do I want to lose the 20 pounds because I know that I'm going to be healthier? It's going to take pressure off my heart. It's going to do this, going to do that. Am I losing 20 pounds because my daughter is getting married and the tux that I want to fit into, I don't fit into now, right? And I want to wear that tux and be healthy and dance with my daughter on the dance floor, right? What is that why that's going to drive you to do things that are going to be outside of your comfort zone?
I shared with you I'm in a men's group, and actually, the gentleman I was working out with today, he's in the group too. He's one of the leaders, as I am in that group. And for quite some time, and I only just started getting back to the gym and really being intentional, but it came up even months ago. Oh, what's your commitment? What's your goal? We'd make commitments. And I would say, well, I want to drop 20 pounds. I need to get in shape. I need to really, get myself back to where I was maybe 3 years ago. And that question was, why? What's the big deal? Why do you keep mentioning that, Steve? Why do you keep bringing that up? And my answer was, because I know if I take care of that part of my life, other parts will grow because of confidence. You just feel better. You have more energy. Business will be better because I'm better. And that was my why. And I stick to that. And I also know, I was a large child. So, that weighs in the subconscious as well.
But here's the interesting part. And if you don't mind, I would like to coach you on your language, right? And this is what I do with my clients all the time.
Sure.
You may have the greatest why in the back of your mind, but you're using language that's going to hurt you in the short and the long term.
I don't doubt it. And I even just caught it before when I said lose 10 pounds.
But here's the other very subtle one.
Sure.
I need to lose 20 pounds.
Comes from a place of lack.
Do you need to, or do you
want to? Yep.
Do I have to, or do I want to?
Absolutely.
That language is so critical in establishing the mindset that's going to get you to do the things that you normally wouldn't do otherwise.
Well, the 20 pounds, in my estimation, would be a need and a want. And work with me on this here.
Sure.
It's a need to improve one's health, especially mine. Plus, I want the benefits of that, which will take what I just described in other areas. Is it reasonable for something to be a need and a want?
Yeah, but think about this. A need, you have to push yourself to satisfy the need. If you have a want, it pulls you to accomplish what you want to accomplish. So, do you have to wake up every day and push yourself to do something? Or do you want to wake up every day and have that something pull you out of bed and into the gym? Do you see the difference?
Crystal clear. And it's the same as when somebody says, I got to get up. I need to go to work.
Exactly correct.
Look at the language there.
Right?
Yeah, I have to, I 6 o'clock, I need to wake up. Well, I use the word need again.
Yeah.
6 o'clock, I want to wake up because I want to go to work.
Here's the subtleness of what intentionality really is, right? Because we normally don't think that way because everything is automatic. Our language becomes automatic. Our actions become automatic actions based on this language, and we don't realize that it's based on the language that we're using.
Would I be accurate in saying if you use the word need, it's the push? You got to have the push, like a car that's not running. I push that car, as opposed to the want. That's the pull. It's going to pull you.
Absolutely right.
See, this is why this program is so fantastic, because it gets into specifics and all those things, that the language that we use, and we don't get the results from what we're doing, and we get frustrated. But right down to those little words, subconsciously, therapists, psychologists, psychiatrists will all say the same thing. You are telling yourself how this is going to go
Correct.
and what your outcome going to be, what you told yourself. So, I need to lose 20 pounds. I've been saying that for a year. Joe, I haven't lost anything.
That's the thing,
It's
right?
true. It's
I
true.
mean, that really is the crux of the matter. How many of us have things for years that we have needed to do or that we say to ourselves we have to do? Sometimes even we say we want to do, but how strong is that want and how connected to a clear vision and picture of what it's going to look like when you accomplish it, right? Because if you don't have a clear picture of what you're going to look like, you don't have a clear picture of what that outcome is going to be, what your life is going to be like, different from what it is now, based on what you need, have to, and want to do. We're not putting it in a context that's drawing us to accomplish it. And whatever is going to come up throughout the day, throughout the week, throughout the year to prevent us from doing it, we're going to get sidetracked because of those things.
Final thought, and then we're going to jump into a couple of offerings that you have to move somebody's life forward. Do you feel, Joe, that many of us don't use the word want because there's guilt involved? Example, when you say, well, I want to lose 20 pounds, you feel guilty in saying it, well, just because you want to look good. So you feel a little tiny bit of a little twinge of guilt there. Now, I want to make some extra money. It almost, as opposed, I need to make some extra money. So now it's you think you're cementing that statement with need. I need it, as opposed to want it. Do you think that there's a reasonable amount of guilt involved there?
There can be. The easiest way that I know how to get rid of that is when you use the word want, put it in context of what the end picture is going to look like. So, do I want to make this money because I want to have a shiny car, or because I'm 3 months behind in my payments? Right?
Hmm.
What is your life going to be? How is your life going to be different and better as a result of this want? When you connect it to that picture will draw you to it and sort of alleviate any of the guilt that may come along with that word.
Well, we could just say, I want to lose 20 pounds because I want to live longer and I want to be healthier. Who's going to do, where's the guilt come up in there? you know?
True. Yeah.
Mm.
But then again, we could even go deeper than that and say, I want to live longer and I want to live healthier. What does that actually mean? Right? What will you be doing differently in this new lifestyle?
Mm.
And the more clarity you can put around that, the more inspirational that picture is going to be.
So you have some things that you want to share with us today. What do you got going on?
So we have a program called the 5 Fundamentals for Intentional Living. And as you saw before, it covers these 5 back to basic principles. And what I would like to offer you and offer the people who are listening is an opportunity to take that program and share your results in future podcasts with us. And so we have a discount on the program. It's a $100 discount. The program costs $249. So if you use the coupon code GLOBAL for Global Podcast Network, GLOBAL, you'll get a $100 discount on the program. Start taking the program. It's an online self-paced program. And at the end of each module, you'll get a free coaching session with me about how to deepen your understanding of each one of those 5 principles. And then we can actually talk about what's happening in that program and how much progress you and some of your listeners are making.
Wow. And when we spoke earlier this week, you had mentioned a program that I was talking about. Is this it?
This is it.
Because I see there's 5. We had mentioned 5.
Right.
Interesting. Wow.
Yeah. Now, to go along with that, we actually have a free gift. And the free gift is an ebook that I wrote called the Mastering the 4 Foundations, which are the 4 foundations of change formula, cycle of mastery, intention versus reaction, and our comfort zone, right? And you get a chance to read through and learn how to master those 4 foundations. And then in the program, we're adding the 5th fundamental, which is that concept of purpose. And so if people go to the website, intentionalachievements.com/get-my-gift, they'll be able to get that book for free.
Very cool. Time for change. I don't think there's anybody that would say, if we said to them, would you like to change anything in your life? I have to strongly believe nobody would say, no, I don't want to change anything. Everything's great.
I agree.
If that's you, bravo. You're probably not being honest. Just saying.
Right.
And it's all there. Just be intentional about the achievements you want to make. Joe, thank you for today. Much more. I had a lot of clarity in terms of this, much more after today, and especially with the language, the need versus the want, and also how this program applies to everything in your life, not just business.
Yeah, correct.
Wow. Thank you so much. Looking forward next time we get together, and I'm going to get that done, and at the very least get the first module done so we can talk about that next time we get together.
Superb. Looking forward to it.
This is the Global Podcast Network, where executives and professionals connect, share, and inspire. Stay tuned for the conversations that drive success.